Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, I'm gonna go talk about the fact that, well, this week was kind of rough, and as well, at least on the bright side, we have other places we'll be looking for in the future when it comes to PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X restocks. And as well, hopefully this weekend won't be too rough or too dry, and on the bright side, we just have a lot of stuff to go and cover. So if you guys will stay tuned and enjoy, and I'm probably gonna go talk about all the potential next upcoming places, and kind of give my chime on throughout the week, and obviously, throughout the week, if you guys were lucky enough to get your consoles, or did not get your consoles, or whatever it is, feel free to leave your comments and thoughts down below, because, well, some people at least thankfully did get lucky, although this week was probably one of the worst weeks we've had in quite some time. And I feel like I've also said that quite a bit throughout these past few weeks too as well. It just kind of seems like a lot of these times are just not going too good, not going so hot, and at the end of the day, it's kind of making me a little bit on the sadder side. So we have a lot of stuff to go talk about, and as well, hope you guys are all excited for the weekend about to come. So make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on, as well for the brand new PlayStation 5 giveaway. Amazon links down below for the PS5 disc, digital console, and controller. Twitter and Twitch stream as well, link down below. Sign up for Weeble, deposit $100, get a bunch of free stock, free money. Something like Coinbase do as well, and let's go and dive in the video itself. So, as you guys probably had a chance to go and tell, this was a very not good week. So we actually had a very average week last week, and Evan kind of covered that up too as well. In these past like 2 months or so, have also been kind of on the not so good side, especially when it comes to PlayStation 5s. So first and foremost, we kind of touched on this a little bit earlier on today, Target. Man, Target was, I'm just surprised it hasn't restocked in all honesty. So when it comes to Target, we're probably going to be anticipating almost like a 90, let's just put like a nice 99% chance for next week, mainly because they just didn't restock. Like we were kind of watching it throughout this past week, we were kind of skeptical, we did see some delays on it as we covered throughout the channel. But man, I'm actually genuinely surprised in the fact that Target itself just didn't have any stock and didn't have any restocks. Mainly because a lot of the stores out there have been sitting on stock. We know that they have stock. We've had employees confirm stock. And I've been saying this on most videos. It just stinks because there was, I think, a delay up in the West Coast. So at the end of the day, nothing really good happened. Nothing really good happened this week when it came to Target. And in all honesty, kind of makes me sad. Although that will probably lead up to a very nice likelihood of a drop next week. And I know we've been saying that for the past 2 weeks or so. But there's only a certain limit of how much stock and how much movement and how much like storage space these places they actually have. So just letting you guys know, we didn't have nothing throughout this one. But that pretty much does go and bolster up the chances quite a bit on the next Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday restocks. I do think at the end of the day, a lot of people will be getting their consoles on that drop, and as well, it does kind of sting too because we'll have a little bit of a bump up throughout this next week or so on third-party prices, mainly because we had a lot of issues with Walmart, which we'll cover up in that probably next, as well as just all the other various drops too, are just so sporadic and so filled with scalpers and botters, and we barely even had anything even happen throughout this week in the first place, which makes me sad. So Target itself, at least we are going to be watching that very closely for next week. I do think Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, especially if we see more stock movements and everything out there, we'll give you guys more details. Although the one big thing is if you guys do work or live in the West Coast, you guys check Target stores or let people know, or you guys have employees or family employees, whatever, please let me know in the comment section down below. Mainly because I just want to have a chance to catch up to you guys, or if you guys need stock throughout the weekend or Monday, please let me know. As well, we also did see a bunch of Xbox Series X showing up at Target stores, and you guys can keep on checking on those all throughout this weekend if you guys would like. But as I also mentioned too, it's just on like a really just sad restock week. Walmart this week was caught with a lot of delays, like these past like few days or so. PS5 digitals are omega delayed. Walmart normal PlayStation 5 disc editions massively canceled. And although they were offering some pretty good chances, and in all honesty, you guys should probably be checking and talking to live chat this week, they just didn't do much. Like, it just was a disappointment. Now, obviously, if they don't have the stock, they can't sell consoles. Same thing with Target. By the end of the day, all these big retailers that just still have not done any restocks and still have not hooked us up with stocks and just, they're kind of just sitting on stock and kind of playing with our hearts. It's just sad to see. Mainly because we've had a really dry past like 2-3 months, and I want to get back on that good churn where it's like, hey, once a week we have one big drop, another week we have another big drop, we have another big drop right after the fact. And I do kind of think that does bump up though the likelihood of a Walmart drop this next upcoming week, because if they have the specific dates and times, that usually means they have a rough idea of when they they can start future selling more inventory, because usually Walmart does like to future sell. So I'd probably almost want to say the tone down for Walmart next week will be a little bit more on the lesser side, while the next 2 weeks from there probably seem a lot more likely, unless they want to go and just kind of future sell more stock or get their PlayStation 5 digitals in way quicker. As I mentioned, a lot of the PS5 digitals were delayed too, so that kind of tones down the likelihood going on. Now, Best Buy did at least have a huge, massive wave of over 150 different types of stores for them having walk-in stock. And although it is kind of more on the tapered end side, we'll probably be talking about this probably tomorrow morning as well. We'll probably be watching a lot more stores finally getting and receiving stock. Now, there was a lot of stores, as I mentioned, that just didn't have stock when it came to this drop. Now, a lot of them did, like there was a few in every state, which is good. Like if someone really wanted to get their consoles, they maybe just had to drive a little bit longer and kind of do a little bit more traveling for it. But the one nicest and probably best thing about it is the fact that we just have been seeing a lot of stock floating around. A lot of people getting confirms and walk-ins. So this weekend we'll still have a chance to see, although as I mentioned might be more on the tapered end side, and at least as well we probably are still watching for a nice online drop. Although Best Buy kind of stinks too, kind of add on the complaints, although it was a big driving force for this week. They also just were sporadic. Employees were being sketched. We didn't really know what was going on too much with stock. We had to use third-party apps and glitches just to see if there's really stock there. And of course, with that also led to a lot more scalpers and botters finding out about stock, getting stock, and obviously making money off of reselling the consoles off the stock itself. So that alone is kind of just annoying. Like, we don't like seeing consoles. We don't like seeing these employees kind of hold on to stock on the side. It just gets annoying and it just gets old. As well, Amazon kind of basically just let us down. As of right now, we still haven't seen much more Amazon movement or Amazon stock or Amazon anything, and it kind of keeps me a little bit on the sadder side. So we keep on checking throughout the weekends or warehouse stuff. Now, as well, I was kind of hoping for maybe even more Xbox Series X's to come in faster, although they just haven't done that yet. Although, as I did mention, though, throughout the week, Walmart did at least have some Xbox Series X's. So if you guys want to check on that, you guys can. So we'll probably be still maybe watching Best Buy for like an online drop these next 2 weeks or so as well. Very overdue. Amazon drops themselves, so the PlayStation 5 probably not going to be happening at least for another 2 or 3 weeks if they even want to do something throughout April with that weird big mishap. And as well, GameStop, funny enough, because they did go put all their stock throughout the walk-in stuff, both for the Xbox and PlayStations, I think might be a little bit still more on the drier side. So we'll probably be maybe expecting maybe some Xbox news as of next week, and PlayStation 5s maybe 2 or 3 weeks out from there, depending on if Sony has a chance to go work in stock and get stock from it. Although I will want to just say this entire week has just been depressing. There really hasn't been too much movement. There really hasn't been too much stock. I think the only kind of big major restock I can maybe kind of see is on the Anton line that did happen today. Although with that, the stock lasted like 5 minutes, if even that. That's like probably being generous. And also the bundle is like an $800 bundle. And it stinks because that just costs so much extra money. And that's like the only place we had a proper good restock on. Like we did also have a Sam's Club drop too, but once again, those big bundles. And at this day and age, I mean, they're still selling. So as much as I would like to complain about bundles, and I probably will at some point in the near future, like people are still buying it. Like people are still that desperate for it. And that's why I think this whole kind of restock week kind of was just so bad, because we were expecting at least a nice Target to wind down the week. And if we had Target restock today, I wouldn't be making like a sad video complaining about how there's no stock or whatever. And same with Best Buy, although it was a nice drop. We had a lot of people get the walk-in stock and everything else went pretty good with it. It did kind of stink because there really wasn't that much other movement. There really wasn't that much other stock. And at the end of the day, kind of sad because we want consoles, we want proper, normal, like big retailer console drops. And we just didn't have a chance to get it. And as well, everything else was quiet. And we'll still be watching, I think, throughout the next weekend too, these next few days. So if we see any updates as well, I'm going to reach out to a lot of contacts and try to get you guys some stuff. But when it comes to Myers, we didn't see like basically anything throughout this week. Same with BJ's, we saw very small amounts, and maybe this weekend it'll finally come in clutch after all these weeks, but even then still we've barely been seeing stock. And as well, when it comes to also even military members, we were seeing that for like weeks upon weeks upon weeks, back to back to back, and we just still haven't seen more stock. Fred Meyer's has been quiet, Staples has been quiet, PC Richards was quiet, all the overdue places like the Kohl's, Urban Outfitters, Verizon's, Lenovo's, Dell's, like the B&H Photos, Belks, whatever it is, we're all so extremely quiet this week. And it makes me sad because even like Newegg itself, PlayStation Directs were quiet. Although there was some Microsoft online orders and such like that, it was just probably one of the quieter weeks we've had in a very long time. And now I'm one of those people who don't like to sell people on false promises. That's why the Target stuff's kind of on the rougher side. So at least in the next few weeks, we should have a lot of overdue places where they've had a chance to build up stock, like how Target is. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really kind of take away on how disappointing this entire week was, and how we basically had no walk-ins besides Best Buy, and how just kind of weird and wonky and everything else really was. So, I don't know, kind of a little bit of a sadder video to wind down the week. We'll definitely have a lot more restocking news throughout this weekend too as well. But man, at the end of the day, I'm just kind of sad. Like, I just want us to get our consoles and move on from there. I want to cover some gaming news, and all these lack of restocks just kind of make me sad. So, kind of give me your thoughts and comments down below. Maybe we'll have some nice happy news of the weekend, but make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on as well for the brand new PlayStation 5 giveaway. Amazon links down below for the PS5 Digital Console controller. Twitter and Twitch stream down below as well if you guys want to follow. We'd love to have you guys there, and same with the Weeble and Coinbase and the Twitter giveaway down below. And we'll see you guys up probably throughout the weekend for more videos. Hope you guys have a fantastic weekend.